And we got a pickup of 125 in Lenox, like a ghetto in Harlem. And somehow, some way, next thing you know, we're in front of the Apollo Theater, and there's 1,000 local residents that aren't happy about.
Wow.
Yeah. And somehow, some
Fight
way,
the power.
all of a sudden, we're in a marked police van. Granted, it was transit.
Yeah, still.
And we were surrounded by, like, if they even wanted to just flip the van, they could have done it in 10 seconds.
Wow.
How many people does it take to flip an empty van? 30?
I know. Oh, I was going to say less, but
you know
still.
What I mean?
Yeah.
And we only have 6 bullets each, maybe 5. You're carrying the little gun.
Yeah.
Because you're in the homeless outreach. You give out sandwiches. You don't think you have to do police work.
Right.
And
And they might have guns too.
And at like 1 mile an hour, he just
whoop.
But I mean, the way I remember it, like people are just like in the windshield, at the side.
Pocket Party Podcast. It's my favorite podcast. The Pocket Party Podcast. It's my favorite.
And we're back, everybody. It's your host, Darren Carter, the party starter. Do me a favor, leave a comment on the YouTube channel for this episode and any other episodes. Appreciate it. Helps the algorithm, helps us get the word out there about the Pocket Party Podcast. To my right, the one and only former NYPD cop, actor, comedian, the one and only grandfather, and he's a player, Mr. John DiResta.
Thank you.
Hello.
$1.
I recognize that New York accent.
Yeah, dude. I walked into a comedy club last night, and there was a guy on stage that had such a wicked New York accent. He looked like he was imitating me.
Wow.
It was weird. And he had a really weird attitude. And just as I walked in, he kind of met eyes with me. And I was like, oh, he's gonna like turn his act to me because I have a leather coat and hey, ooh, and he's got thank God he didn't turn his attention to me because I would have had to outsmart him. Yeah. And he might not have liked it.
Did you guys know each other?
No, I never saw, and he was like, hey, I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah, dude.
Did you know afterwards?
No, I never saw or heard of him.
But afterwards, did you introduce yourself?
Not really, because he was with like 2 or 3 other guys, and that all together they weren't funny. Oh, like I didn't like any eating ass, and it was really it was
modern comedy. What they're doing on all these podcasts and like the Kill Tony type style.
I mean, and it was just like an energy. I just kind of stayed to myself.
Yeah.
Where usually my hand is out. Hey, good job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was there like a little bit of the Old West where you guys line up like New York accent versus New York, like
not really, because he can have the most wicked New York accent on earth. He wasn't a New York City cop in the subway. He hasn't done 8,000 sets. You know what I mean?
And also that you've been hired to do voiceover.
My voice is in 3 Steven Spielberg movies. It's in The Terminal with Tom Hanks. My voice is in War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise and Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
And then my voice is in 2 other big feature films. I bet you didn't know this.
No.
Daredevil. My voice plays a New York City cop coming out of a helicopter. And then I'm in the movie Man on a Wire.
Oh, cool. Let's get into that in a little bit. Do the Central Be Advised.
Central Be Advised. I'm doing another podcast. I think Michael Black is on his way in.
Yeah. Dude, that's hilarious, man. By the way, I know you're big into heavy metal.
Yeah, I'm addicted to heavy metal.
My son, every morning, man, I'm raising him right. Shout out to Oz, the bass boss, a.k.a. Austin, my son. Love you, buddy. Hope you're listening. And he every morning, I got him trained, like, to do. I go, man, about a year and a half ago, I go, you should really start exercising even more because he did a lot of running. And
right.
Stuff. I go, but your body, man, you're like 15, 16. I go, you could your muscles will really respond. And now he's 17, and so all last year he did 100 push-ups daily.
Wow.
And then some days he'd step it up a little bit, and then if you're sick, he'd take 4 or 5 days off, but then make up for it. And so now he's doing push-ups and he's running, and he to make the push-ups even harder. Like he goes, yeah, now I'm doing knuckle push-ups. And he does 100 before school. So before school, he's getting the, but what does he do? Every morning, like he'll pick a song and he stretches and works out to that song all week. So he can really become familiar with that song, because also, he plays bass and guitar.
Right,
and,
sure.
And so lately, and I before I came on the podcast, he knew I was doing a podcast with you. I go, hey, do you have any questions for John DiResta? And the group that he's into lately is Tool, and he wanted to know if you like Tool. If you listen to Tool.
Yeah. Tool has a I don't know what they look like. And I don't want to know what they look like.
Okay,
it's weird, like the way most heavy metal bands.
Yeah,
and I've listened to a few songs live, and I don't like them live as much as I do
recorded.
Yeah. But they have the song "The Pot." Do you know that song?
No.
Yeah, the Pot. It's there's a couple of really good songs. Sober.
I saw that. I looked them up on YouTube beforehand. I tell you, the songs I do remember. Maybe you could help me. One is called is it called Schism?
Yes, yeah,
Schism?
That's another one. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 that I listen to.
Schism. One starts with L, like Latimus or something.
And I'm pretty sure that one of the guys in Tool was in a band in high school with who's the guy from Rage Against the Machine? Tom Morello.
Oh, wow.
So Tom Morello and one of the guys in Tool were in a band together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, I don't know that much about them, and I like it that way. I like to keep it limited.
Lateralis 46 and 2 is another one. Another one is called Right in 2. Right.
That one I don't know.
And then Austin likes, I think the one he really likes is Parabola. I
think I know that one, but not by heart.
Apparently, that's an algebra term. I never knew that.
Parabella.
I didn't know that.
I thought that was the woman's name at DMV. Right?
Do you know the lead singer's name is Maynard? Do you know that?
Again, that's as much as I know, if I even knew that.
Okay, all I'll say is Maynard, I'm not going to tell you anything, but do I look like I could be a lead singer of Tool? No.
Doesn't the little I know about the once time I ever saw them?
Yeah.
I don't remember him looking like you.
Okay, cool.
You look like you have Down syndrome.
Interesting. System of a Down syndrome.
Yeah, okay.
Is that what you meant? System of a Down.
Now watch this. You watch this. Watch the System of the Down story I have.
Yeah.
I listened to them because they're Armenian.
Yeah.
I like them. I had the only Armenian partner in the NYPD.
How did you know he was Armenian?
He had hair on his nightstick. And the butt of his gun had hair on it.
Oh, jeez.
And his handcuffs had hair on them.
Dude.
They were hair cuffs.
Dude, these are funny jokes, but I'm going to tell you. Remember when we had the big fires and there was smoke and you couldn't breathe and it was tough and everybody was like, the air quality and So, they encourage you to go exercise indoors if you're going to do it. So we went to the mall and I went to the Glendale Mall, and I'm not kidding, dude. A lot of Armenians, shout out to my Armenian homies out there. But I told my wife, I go, have you noticed there's a lot of hairballs on the floor of the mall in Glendale?
Was it really?
Really? What? There really is.
Like a real hairball?
Real hairballs, like different like hair and shedding.
Ew, no, I never. Ew.
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of had to laugh. It's like, it's true though. I really did see that. Okay, so as you were.
So I'm delivering furniture. I had a customer that ordered a few things, and she said, I live up a hidden driveway. And it was off of Mulholland in Calabasas. So it's a ride on the 101. Then you get off like at Las Virgenes or one of them, and you go up into the hill. And then you go up Mulholland. And there's a big house to the left. And then my customer's house is at the end of a hidden driveway. So I drive past this house on the left once. A few weeks later, I drive past it. The third time, the owner is coming down to get his mail. And it's Serge Tankian.
Oh.
So I pulled right over and I said, hey, dude, I'm a huge fan. I said, Ozzy or Dio? I showed him the tattoos, and he had a huge smile because he knows now I'm a heavy metal fan. And he goes, I like them both. I said, no problem. I said, I'm the carpenter. So I gave him my card, and I never heard from him, but I know where he lives. And, he smiled.
That's cool.
He had a big, goofy smile. But, yeah, I like System. That's what we call it.
When you ask about 10 people, Ozzy or Dio, is it leaning one way or another?
Oh,
Is it
dude, I know.
50-50?
I do it internationally. This is not just California or New York. This is foreigners. Heavy metal fans find each other like heroin addicts. Okay? Especially if you're a Long Island heavy metal fan, we find each other no matter where we are. And I say Ozzy or Dio. First, you find out if they're a Sabbath fan, and most people know Sabbath. And I've asked my whole audiences this in stand-up shows, and they've turned on each other. It's like almost like Democrat and Republican.
Yeah.
While I'm on stage, they're yelling at each other.
Wow.
When I say Ozzy or Dio, 80% proudly say Ozzy. The other 20% lean in, look right, left, like they're going to make a racial slur, and they go Dio.
Dio.
Because they don't want to offend the Ozzy fans, or they don't want the argument. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Now, as a casual metal fan, I would say Ozzy, because I never really knew Dio until I got a little older and kind of dive into it.
Yeah,
'Cause
no problem.
Just as a kid, I didn't even know Ozzy was in Black Sabbath at first,
Right.
Because you're a teenager, and I remember the neighbor across the street, he used to listen to Ozzy and let me borrow the album, so I had like I think, is it called Blizzard of Oz?
Yeah, the first one. Crazy Train.
Yeah, that one. And then another album he let me borrow around that same time.
Diary of the Madman.
Yeah, Diary of a Madman. Yeah. So I had those two tapes, and I would listen to them back, and they were awesome. And Mr. Crowley, what goes down? I love that stuff.
yeah.
You know it. You know what I mean? Like, wine is fine, but whiskey's quick as suicide. All that. I love all that stuff.
Yeah,
of course,
they
Crazy
were
Train
addictive.
They were addictive, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So good. But and then I found out later about Black Sabbath, and I'm like, oh, it sounds pretty cool too, and has that dark kind of vibe to it in the sound. But
Well, here's the way I sum it up. I have to listen to Ozzy every 48 hours. But I have to listen to Ronnie James Dio in any form every 7 hours.
ooh, wow.
If I leave my house without my headphones, I'm like a drug addict without his fix.
For on stage, you should be like, if I get up in the middle of the night and pee, I have to hear Over the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Is it Over the Rainbow? No, Rainbow in the Dark. Rainbow in the Dark.
Yeah, dude, that's a faux pas.
I just outed myself
Over
as not
the
a metal
Rainbow
fan.
is gay shit. Somewhere
at 3 in the morning, you're listening to
over the
somewhere.
Rainbow.
3 in the
I
morning.
listen to Judy Garland while I beat my meat at 3 in the morning.
Ring, ring, ring with the trolley. Clang, clang, clang with the bell.
Do you know what they said about her?
No.
You should look into it. She is one of the greatest live performers ever.
Wow.
Ever.
Judy Garland.
Ever.
Wow.
Ever. Like her, Al Jolson, Elvis. You know what I mean?
I could see that.
Billy Hole.
Yeah. Who's Billy Hole?
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. Yeah.
That's what we call him in Long Island.
There's some great live performers, man. Of course, me, I love I go on YouTube and I just play George Jones concerts. I've been doing that, the same concert over and over. And I love it. I love what he says. And, and he says that pretty much the same thing on a lot of the concerts, but I believe it every time where he's like, holy cow, we're going to keep going here till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. They're like, yeah, it's like, it's just great, and then of course, I've used that line. You and I talked about this, his, Hank Williams Jr., his manager, Merle Kilgore, I like this line, so I've said it a few times when I'm really feeling it. I get the crowd when they're cheering right there, and I go, "These are my people!"
There you go.
But you can only do it once, I found. You do it like too many times throughout the show.
There's a lot of tricks of... tricks / old school tactics that performers get the audiences to come with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's part of your job. You know what I mean? It's like I got into stand-up to get laughs, and now 32 years into it, it's like I want to connect and have fun.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's by proxy, the laughs.
Yeah.
So...
and some advice they told Minnie Pearl back in the day, howdy. They said, she was so nervous when she went out to the Opry the first time, and they said, love that audience. Don't be nervous. They said, love them with your heart, and they'll love you right back.
Yeah.
And that's true, right? You love the audience with your heart, and they'll love you right back. Yeah. But see, you and I we're at a level of, we're professional comedians. People like us. People,
right.
As opposed to what you were saying earlier, those 3 guys, the New York accents, they're probably up and coming, and
it's all crass, and it's like, it's a place where almost nobody gets laughs, right?
Yeah.
That's for lack of a better term, that's how third rate it is. It's just a bar gig. No one paid to get in. No one's getting paid.
Right.
There's people shooting pool in the back and talking.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, I'm bombing. And they don't get that there's no one there to laugh anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the last thing they need is a guy like me coming up to them, hey, man, just love them with your heart, and they'll love you right back. Get the fuck out of. You know what I mean? They're not even at that level of, they just want the jokes to work. And then you realize it's not even about the jokes after a while.
Yeah, they're chasing laughs. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. So I had my son, Austin, a.k.a. Oz the Bass Boss. I had him write down some of the bands that he's into recently. And I might not even be able to pronounce these bands, but see if you're familiar. So we start out with Tool. He also likes Meshuggah.
Meshuggah I don't listen to. I heard of it.
The next one is another strange name. It's Gojira. Gojira.
No.
The next one is Dream Theater.
I heard of them. Don't listen.
Do you mostly listen to Ozzy's Boneyard?
I did on my old truck. I did. Yeah. I don't have it now.
Oh, shit. So you're stuck now.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
You're not discovering new stuff. I guess.
No, not really. No, I'm Ozzy, Dio, Pantera, Twisted Sister.
Oh, okay. The only reason because as soon as he gets in my car, he's like going back and forth because I like Ozzy's Boneyard.
Yeah,
there's going to be songs I know and stuff I like. But then he puts it on some of those other metal channels. Yeah, Nitro, and I don't even know what they're called, like Hair Nation and whatever. Like the different. There's like 4 or 5 of them, right? And he's like bang, 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 all this stuff I never.
No, I'm going to say it on the podcast because you probably won't write it down.
Yeah,
but have him listen to a band I just discovered called Holy Mother. And it winds up they're from Long Island just by chance.
Oh, wow.
And it's, it's just kick-ass old school heavy metal. Holy Mother.
Holy
Jeremiah.
Mother. Okay, here we go next. We said Dream Theater. Animals as Leaders.
No.
Lamb of God.
Yes, there's one really good song I listen to. Walk Through Hell or Straight Through Hell. Something about Let's Walk Through Hell.
Slaughter to Prevail.
It's funny you bring that. I knew you were going to bring it up.
Really?
My son, when we get in the car and he drives me to the airport, he's my valet. He listens to heavy metal that I never heard of. I mean, never. I'm like, what? And it's death metal.
Yeah.
And one of them is Slaughter to
Prevail.
Yeah.
I know. He did that the other day. He was like in the living room and he was like, doing his kettlebell workout and his dumbbells. And he had this stuff that's like, and I go, dude, it sounds like the garbage disposal.
Yeah, but there was one song that Slaughter to Prevail played that I caught my ear that I liked.
Next is called Infant Annihilator.
I heard of it, never listened. My son probably listens to.
Oh, and this last one is really, and he told me how to pronounce it. I don't know. I have no idea.
Rammstein?
No, I could pronounce that. It's that word right there. That last one. S-A-N, it's like a foreign word.
Yeah, no. That's out of my realm.
Whatever that is. It's like Sengosugubagu.
Yeah.
Sorry, son. Oh boy. All right, so there's that. So that's the metal, and it's great because he's the kind of guy, because we can appreciate music, but then he can go over and actually start playing the bass of it and practice.
Yeah. Good for him.
He's been doing some of the stuff from Tool, and I'm like, that actually sounds good. The Tool I can get behind, but it's funny. It's like with hip hop, did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did.
Earlier this week? Okay,
I did.
Depending on when you guys listen to this, we're talking, the Super Bowl obviously has already happened, but the halftime show was Kendrick Lamar, and people, they're very divided. Some people loved it, a lot of people hated it, and I realized I'm not in that demographic. It wasn't my thing. I think I knew 1 or 2 songs. I did not hate it, I'll tell you that, because I've seen other performances that I did not like, so I'm kind of used to not liking stuff. So when I saw him, I'm like, oh, this is actually, I liked how give my take. The synchronized dancers, I'm like, that's cool. I recognized a couple songs. I thought that was cool. And like I said, in my mind, the bar was already really low of not liking, I didn't really care for Usher. I didn't care for Maroon 5. I didn't care for so many. because I loved when Michael Jackson did the Super Bowl. I loved my Prince, Michael
Right.
Jackson. I loved and after that it was like everything else is kind of Bruno Mars I kind of liked, but the last 5 years I really I liked a little bit of the Snoop Dogg stuff, but I was like, well, it's cool, but I don't love it. I'm not like loving it. So with Kendrick, I thought the synchronized dancing was cool, and I liked a couple of the songs. That was my take. I liked the Red, White, and Blue, and I didn't hate it. Some people hated it. Some people loved it. I didn't feel like I needed to go on Facebook or whatever and put my opinion out there.
Right.
I was just like, or even get involved. I was just like,
Right.
Because then some people got weird. Like I saw some people were like, if you didn't like the Kendrick Lamar, you could tell immediately who your friends are that are racist. And I'm like, well, no, just because I don't like it doesn't mean I'm.
Yeah, the little I've paid attention to it, people are really stretching it out of like it really.
Yeah.
But and I'll give you my opinion.
Yeah.
5 minutes into it, I didn't understand what he was saying.
Yep.
I didn't think I didn't think that much of it. But I was with my 3 kids, and they were all like, "This is great. This is amazing."
Yeah.
For real. I'm
No,
like,
I know.
and so I didn't make any jokes.
Right.
And about 6 minutes in, I said, I literally said, "Who cares? I could care less who's in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I could care less about the game.
Yep.
Who wins? Who cares? You know what I mean? They're throwing a football around, and everyone's making a big deal, and this guy's singing and dancing with 400 people.
I know.
I literally said, I don't even care. I don't even have an opinion. And then to watch all these people, if you didn't like, and even like on The View, I just saw it online. They're like, and then when one of the women on The View is like, and then when they cut to a black person as Uncle Sam, we got them, and everyone in the audience cheered.
Wow.
I just thought it was a catchy, funny thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, we rubbed it in their face.
I saw something.
So it was like the stakes are there's too much sadness in the world to give a shit about.
I know.
Whether he called the guy a pedophile in his song.
A minor. By the way, if you guys want to check out, my son Austin did a heavy metal version of that song. They Not Like Us, and he did the whole heavy metal version that people are loving. So there you go. Check him out. Os the Bass Boss. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. However, I was going to say, you're right. I saw that, and I saw like somebody else. I was like, what did people say in this comment section? And they were like saying how there were so many hidden messages. This was brilliant, and if you didn't get the message, then this song and this performance wasn't for you. And I'm like, okay, I guess it wasn't for me.
It's crazy how easily entertained and swayed people are. Like, in other words, it's just a dumb football game.
Yeah.
And even if the game is so important, why are we making a big deal about a guy rapping on the field? Like, in other words, it takes away from it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
I think his style is kind of interesting. That the way he talks, he's rapping like that. However, I was showing my son. I go, see, now this is the stuff I grew up on. And I went to the YouTube, later on that night, and I showed him
DMC.
Run DMC, and I showed him LL Cool J. My radio, believe me. I mean, stuff I really liked it because I could understand the lyrics. And plus, it was a little bit more comical when we grew up. There was.
That's a good point.
It was a little bit more comical. Like
it was shticky.
Yeah, they had that Run DMC. You be illin'. Or there's another song called. Yeah, there was a Run DMC song that goes, shut up, homeboy, you never shut up. Like, and there's that Shut Up song, and then there's the Houdini, the freaks come out at night.
Yeah.
The freaks come out at night. And remember the other one?
Friends.
How many of us have them?
Let's be friends.
The ones you can depend on. You know what I mean? It's
what about MC Dumpty? He had one hit.
Humpty Dumpty. It was Digital Underground. He had more than one hit, but I know what you're saying. His name is Digital. See, that's how I know it.
He just passed away.
Digital Underground. I know. All right, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to.
What was his one song?
Oh, look, that's the one, the Humpty Dance. Here's your chance.
There was another one.
Was it Sex Packets or something like that?
That doesn't sound familiar. There was one that had a catchy beat.
That's the one, I think. Digital Underground Hits. I think that was the one. With the freaks of the industry. It was called Sex Packets. With the freaks, yeah. If you kiss me, girl, I'll kiss you back. Do what you like. And then there's we're all in the same gang. Oh, no nose job. Like how he's never going to get a nose job and stuff. Yeah, that's. I think you're thinking Humpty Dance. I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. That one.
That sounds like him. It's funny.
All right, stop what you're doing. Yeah, it was great. It was funny, and then
Exit stage left.
Exit stage left even. Heavens to Murgatroyd.
That guy was funny.
He was good. And what about my wife loves, and I love this guy too, Girl in Yellow. She says hello. Young MC. Remember that guy?
Okay, yeah.
Just bust a move.
Yeah.
And then Vanilla Ice, remember that? Doom, 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 ice, baby.
Yeah.
Doom, 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 doom. Oh, I like it. And what about, girl, you got what I need. You say he's just a friend. Like, he was the first guy to, like, sing bad on purpose. And then, like.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't know that one?
Who was that?
I don't know. I forget his name right now. Sorry, listeners. I know you guys probably know it. He passed away, R.I.P. I saw him in concert, too. Rapper singing Just a Friend. His name is Biz Marquis.
Yeah, him I don't know.
He was at a piano and looking like Amadeus with the wig and stuff.
I remember something about that.
And then I took my son down memory lane. I go, what about this one? And did you ever hear Rappin' Duke?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
John Wayne. Yeah.
Was like a hero to most folks.
Yeah. Oh, that's Public Enemy. Bass, how low can you go? Yeah, boy.
They're from Long Island.
Oh, see, and then, gosh, I love
Flavor Flav's from Long Island and Chuck D's from Long Island.
Beastie Boys. I like the Beastie Boys. You didn't really get into them. You like one song. You liked No Sleep Till
Brass
Brooklyn.
Monkey.
Brass Monkey, that funky monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like that whole era. That was when
Yeah, of course.
I was into comedy. I like stand-up. Rap was new, and I was like, and I liked how you could, if you like this thing, you could do it instantly. If you could, make your own rap. And I did. I made raps. And then especially back then, there wasn't a lot of white dudes rapping. So at my school, bright red hair, bright white skin, rapping, it was like, whoa. And I got
Eminem on a budget.
even before Vanilla Ice.
DJ Skittles.
Yeah, way before those guys. I was
DJ Mars Bars.
my DJ Mars boy. Oh, what was the joke I used to say?
DJ Dog Food.
Before Vanilla Ice, they call me Strawberry Fudge.
DJ Cat Food.
DJ Cat Food. But yeah, so that was I didn't get that wrapped up into the.
No, like I said, I have bigger problems to solve instead of getting all caught up in that. Even the commercials, people like who cares? They're just stupid commercials.
I know.
Which one did you like best? Like people are so easily impressed. It's unusual.
I know. I was watching some of them and kind of fast forwarding, and because I also don't want to sit there and from 3:30 and ruin the day and just watch. So we went out hiking and then came back and kind of watched it and forwarded it.
Yeah, no, I like watching it in real time. I had fun. It's since I don't have a real job to go to, I have to work 7 days a week. There's like 3 days in the whole year where I know from 2:00 on, I could smoke pot and eat food and keep my feet up. I don't, I very rarely do that.
Yeah.
And so Super Bowl Sunday leaves me to that. And I was the captain of my football team in 1982, the Hewlett Blue Jackets. Me, George Ayers, and Pat Vidaro. So I like the game of football. I like the fact that we're going to watch the two best teams. Like I actually watched the football aspect of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. See, now me, I forward through all the football and only watch like the national anthem. I loved watching. I love when the crowd reacted to Trump cheering. What are they going to do? And then they booed it to Taylor Swift. And then
no, I thought that was interesting. I thought because as stand-up comedians, we have a Saturday night show where we feel like the king of the world.
Yeah, and
then the next Thursday night, you don't have a good show.
Right.
And so it's in a weird way, she's riding high. She's the biggest star in the world. And to have 60,000 people boo her had to be a shock to the system.
Yeah.
And she knows the camera's on her face.
Yep.
I mean, what went through her mind was like...
Have you seen that video? Because I
didn't see it.
Oh, there's lip syncers or lip readers that are saying... She's like, I wonder what that is. And she's like looking around like because they booed, and then she probably like, "Am I on camera right now?" And then I saw a clip of her like getting off the private plane, and they had like they counted them. They go 1, 2, 3, 7 umbrellas that are covering her, so you can't see her get off the plane. Like really like weird, you know.
Why can't you see her get off the plane? I'm missing a beat.
I don't know. They hide.
Was she sad?
Maybe, or who knows? Like really showing her privacy when she got off the plane. Like,
Oh, okay.
Normally you get off the plane, but now it's like let's cover her with umbrellas.
Yeah.
You know.
But people read into it.
Yeah, they're all reading into it, you know. But it was interesting. Yeah, the game ended, and I was like, okay, that was.
I mean, to me,
fun.
the greatest part was there was this guy he's relatively young, and he won the Super Bowl. The coach, he won the Super Bowl, and he's holding his 2 little kids, and he's greeting his wife.
Yeah,
You know,
I know.
and he won the Super Bowl. You can't take it away from him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
At one point,
And
yeah.
watch this.
Yeah.
As big a deal it is that they won the Super Bowl, and these other guys are all upset and their lives are ruined and they're crying on the sidelines. At the end of the day, who gives a shit what the score was? It matters zero.
Right.
Even when you root for a team, the people change.
Yes.
So what are you rooting for?
I know.
A logo?
Right. It's weird, right?
It's ridiculous.
I know, because I was like,
People to beat
Yeah.
people up in the stands
yeah,
over it.
I know. It's like you know, I feel like before you could root for a team, and then that was the team, and then but now you're like seeing people. They might play for a year or 2 years, and then get traded, move on. You're like, what the?
But that always happened.
Yeah, that's why
I never really got it.
I kind of, you know, if you can get into like a UFC fighter or a boxer or somebody, it's a little bit more interesting because then it's just that one person.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know, like.
I mean, I see it. I'm that way with heavy metal, but heavy metal gives me more than a football game.
That'd be
does.
kind of funny. I just realized because that could happen. Like, let's say, give me a heavy metal group you like that came out within the last 30 years.
All right.
Okay, Twisted Sister. Let's just say
Twisted Sister.
So what if it's so right now you're rooting for Twisted Sister, you love Twisted Sister, but what's going to happen when they replace pretty much all the band members?
I'm still going. It's Twisted Sister.
but it's a guy, you know. It's,
No, I get it, dude.
You know what I mean?
A lot of these 80 metal bands, no one's the original.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I know. We went to see like at LA County Fair, like I don't know if it was the Gap Band or one of those things, and you're like looking, going, I think there might be one original member up there. You know, it's like I don't know. That's the good thing about the Village People is they could. It's the characters, it's the costumes, so
Yeah,
you could
right.
swap
Yeah.
out. In fact, we noticed that when there was I think it was the construction worker.
He looks different.
Yeah, in the early show, it was, I want to say, an Asian man, and then later on it was a white guy that was dressed up like a construction worker.
Well, on that note, I got in contact with a girl I went to high school with. I got in contact with a girl I went to high school with in the last few days, and I said, I'm letting my hair... You notice my hair is long.
Yeah, longer, yeah.
I'm letting my hair grow out.
And dying, and
I'm not dyeing it.
Yeah.
No, I'm letting my wings grow. See my wings?
And your beard or something is going on.
It's just I haven't shaved in a while.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I said to this nice young lady...
And you look good. You look like you... Oh, that's cool.
You look like what?
You look like you gained a little weight, like in a healthy way.
Oh, thank you.
Have you? I don't know.
No, I'm about the same.
Okay.
But...
No, not in a fat way. Like in a oh, yeah, it's cool. Maybe
no, it's all good.
He's got the hair, the beard.
Her name's Leslie.
You went to high school with her?
Yeah.
Wow, she looks young.
Yeah, she looks great.
You look young too. It's weird that
She's older than me.
I know. No way.
Yeah.
And you're older than me.
I'm 60, and she's older.
Dude, you think she's probably like 61, 62, 63, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
What is it? Is that how she really looks? Or do you think it's like...
No, I think it's how she really looks.
Photos and filters and...
No, I think that's how she's a beautiful young woman.
But you only know her from online though, right? Have you seen her in real life? She might listen to this. Hey, how you doing?
No, she aged well. She was always very pretty.
That's cool.
So, make a long story a migraine. I said, I'm letting my hair grow out. I want to look like a roadie for Zebra. Ha ha ha. She got the joke. She was a Zebra fan.
Oh.
Do you remember Zebra?
No, but I think you mentioned
All
them
right,
because they're
Zebra's
from
a Long Island light metal band, like Twisted Sister days. So, to make a long story short, I found out that Zebra is playing the 50th reunion 50 years of Zebra.
Wow.
In Long Island, May 21st. And guess what? I'm meeting Leslie in Long Island, and we're going to go to see Zebra.
Wow.
So, and everyone there is going to be a gray-haired old fuck like me.
Yeah. That's
But
cool.
I'm going to have a beautiful young woman with me.
Yeah. That's good. That's
Zebra.
cool. Zebra.
You don't remember Zebra?
I don't. Only from you telling me about Zebra. Only from you telling me. I want to talk about the movie Bird on a Wire, but do we want to talk about that movie, or do we want to get into some? I got a couple NYPD questions about you.
No, NYPD questions are good.
Let's do the questions. Okay, here we go. I was thinking about this today. What was your first? Everybody has that first day at a job, when they're first there. Like, what's it? You don't really, you're kind of like, okay, this is my first job. I got the uniform on. I got the, I'm ready. And then walk us through like your first, either the first week or the first month. Like,
There's like three very first memories from like the first 3 days. And the first, I always tell people this, I don't know if it was the first night, but it was, again, it was January of 86 turning to 87. So it was January of 87. And you do 6 months in the NYPD Academy, then you do 6 weeks in the Transit Academy. So they put us out, like you're not even out of the Transit Academy yet, and everyone goes on a night, like you're out on patrol. This is your first big night. And I had Times Square from midnight to 8 in the morning with an old timer. You go out there with an old fat cop that doesn't want to be with you because you're ruining his routine, right? He wants to sleep. He wants to drink. He wants to go with a hooker, and he can't because he has a rookie with him, right? That's what these guys do on job time.
Yeah.
And about 6 hours into it, I was freezing cold. My back hurt. My legs hurt because you have to stand up in a subway with a police uniform on.
Is he near you or far away
He stands next to me. He doesn't say a word to me. He doesn't want to be with me.
Yeah.
It's not like a training officer that signed up to be with a rookie.
Yeah.
He gets assigned. I'm ruining his night.
Yeah.
And rookies tend to go, look, that guy's smoking. Look, that guy has a knife. Look, that guy. And he's like, take it easy. We don't need any heroes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't want to get sucked into your I'm going to save the world attitude.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's all a dry hand job to begin with. And I don't. The rookie doesn't. But I was never gung-ho as a cop.
Yeah.
The very first night, about 3 or 4 hours into him, I said, is this all we do? We just stand in the subway and be cold? And the only thing he said to me the whole night was, what did you expect? He said, wait till it's the summer and you have to spend your whole hour meal period riding back to the precinct on a train just to change your uniform. It's so disgustingly wet from sweat. You don't even eat. You just go change. You kill your hour changing your uniform out.
Wow.
So that's one of the first memories. And
it reminds me a little bit of the Super Bowl enthusiasm. Remember, like the way we are now. So like I don't care who wins. I don't care about the performance. I don't care about the score. That's kind of like how that cop was.
That's how you get,
and that's how the kids are. They're like, so, oh my gosh, Kendrick Lamar hidden messages, A minor. They're all like pumped up and
it's a different attitude.
Yeah.
I just remember it was very sad because I wanted to be NYPD. I mean, I was in the subway against my will. So when you get there and it smells and it's wet and it's damp and it's just unfun and it's dangerous. I was like, I think maybe from day one I was like, how do I get out of this? From day one.
Does your uniform say NYPD on it?
No, you're a transit cop. You have a transit patch. Yeah, no, you're transit. Everybody knows it. You might as well be a security guard.
Damn.
Yeah, you're looked down upon.
By the public and the cops?
By everybody.
Everyone knows. Like, I would know it if I saw it. Like, because you're looking for that.
Transit.
Looking for that logo and all that shit. But then you had a gun, though, so.
I did have a gun. And
isn't that funny when I see a police-looking person? If they don't have a gun, I'm like, oh, they're a security guard. They're like, If they have a gun, you're like, oh, they're legit. But nowadays I see some security guards have guns.
I know. Well, dude,
weird.
I go to the marijuana store a lot, and there's a guy just standing there. It looks like a custodian. He's got 2 huge guns. You know what I mean? One on each hip. You know what I mean? He don't look like he belongs with a gun.
Yeah.
What's up, dog?
I saw a guy at a comedy performance area. I won't say where it's at, but I noticed he had like a few different knives on him.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know if he has a gun or not. I'm sure he does, but I was like, oh, I think he has a knife there. And I saw that he had a knife in the center. Like he could just pull it out. He had another knife. And I was like, like, you know.
Some people are very defense oriented.
Yeah.
There was a transit cop, and I wish I knew his name. And we carried a nightstick, right? Not a P24 with the handle on it. Just a wooden nightstick.
Yeah.
And 99.9999% of the time it's in its holder. Unless you take it out and you learn how to twirl it with the long leather strap, which I learned how to do.
Why would you twirl it? Just to...
It kills the time, and looks... It's like juggling. It's like something you could do to you could get better at.
Yeah.
While you're standing in the subway in a police uniform. You understand what I mean? Like it's a bar trick.
Yeah.
But you could get really good at it.
And you do it when it's not that crowded.
Yeah, when it's not crowded, because how you learn how to it hits you in the balls, the knee, the shin.
Yeah.
It's like an old funny story that every rookie cop has black and blue knees and a ball sack, because it's a very intricate, weird way you have to manipulate it.
Yeah.
It's like a butterfly knife.
Yeah. Like nunchucks in a sense.
Yeah,
like
exactly. So I learned how to do that. But if it's otherwise, it's in its holder.
Yeah.
But there was a transit cop that was so just sick of the public and so paranoid that almost anyone could hurt him.
Yeah.
He would just hold his nightstick like this.
Oh, upside down and in front of him.
Just upside. So if he had to swap somebody right in the fucking forehead, dude, he's standing. There's not even anyone around him for the whole 8 hours.
Yeah.
Just like this.
Wow. I'm describing it to the listener. Just his arm is in front of him with his thumb down, his pinky area up, so he can just like backhand you.
So he could backhand someone across the chin.
Wow. What were some of those terms they would say back then? Like
open. I'll send you home in a turban.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I'll open your head like a tomato. I'll open your head like a cantaloupe.
Oh gosh.
I'll part your hair with my nightstick. And then the ultimate one was, I guess you want an oak shampoo.
Oh
yeah, because the wood was oak.
I like it, oak shampoo. And then wasn't there like a party hat or something?
Yeah, transit party hat.
Transit party hat.
I haven't thought of that in years. Transit. Yeah.
Damn.
And watch this. In my 12 years, I never really saw anybody use a nightstick the way you imagine cops would.
Yeah.
But before I got on the job, I was about 16 or 17, and my friend Terry Downing worked at Shell gas station from 8 at night to 8 in the morning. So all we did was hang out in the little Shell area and drink beers and smoke pot. Like every night of our lives was at Shell gas station.
Yeah.
And we knew there was a police incident across really far, like 2 red lights down. And we heard a nightstick hitting bone.
Ooh.
From like a block away.
Wow.
Yeah, the cops had to hit somebody in the shin or the head. So I've heard it before.
Were you? I think you told me. I was watching the protests, and also like the protests. You see how things can get out of hand. They surround
very quickly.
They see
the mob rules.
Yeah, the mob rules. I didn't see anything too crazy, But then I also saw the Eagles, the celebration, and I saw like a line of police officers on motorcycles that were just going through a sea of people, like it, basically walking their bikes,
right?
And I saw the clip was entitled like, something like "Guy slaps cop's helmet," and he went bam, and the cop just stopped and kind of looked at him, but he's surrounded by millions, hundreds of people. And then the cop just kind of kept going with the procession and went forward. And I was like, ooh. And it reminded me of a story. Didn't you get trapped in a police van?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that. What happened?
Yeah. That's funny. I forgot that. So the night Rodney King, the cops were found not guilty in Simi Valley.
California. West Coast.
And they were found not guilty because in the patrol guide, you were allowed to hit till submission. So in other words, every time they hit Rodney King and he didn't lay down and put his hands behind his back, they were, according to their rule book at the time, they were allowed to do that. Did you know that?
No.
So that rule has been changed, but that's why they were found not guilty. So on the way into work that night, I left at 9 o'clock. No, I had to be on duty at 9:30. So I left at about 7. And on the ride to work, the 1-hour ride from Harriman to Lower Manhattan to Tribeca, right where the World Trade Center was. I went on duty in the homeless outreach unit. But on the ride in, it was like 1010 Wins News. 4 people are dead in the LA riots. I went 10 more miles. 7 people are dead in the LA riot. Like the LA riots were that night.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was going to bother us.
You're kind of like, well, that's LA.
Yeah, it's LA.
It's so far away.
Yeah. So we're in the homeless outreach van, me and Kenny Gellino, and we got a pickup of 125 in Lenox, like a ghetto in Harlem. And somehow, some way, next thing you know, we're in front of the Apollo Theater, and there's 1,000 local residents that aren't happy about.
Wow.
Yeah. And somehow, some
Fight
way,
the power.
all of a sudden,
Oh, wow.
we were in a marked police van. Granted, it was
gosh.
transit.
Yeah, still.
And we were surrounded by, like, if they even wanted to just flip the van,
yeah.
they could have done it in 10 seconds.
Wow.
How many people does it take to flip an
I
empty
know.
van? 30?
I know. Oh, I was going to say less, but
You know
still.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And we only have 6 bullets each, maybe 5. You know, you're carrying the little gun.
Yeah.
Because you're in the homeless outreach. You give out
Yeah.
sandwiches. You don't think you have to do police work.
Right.
And
yeah. And they might have guns too.
And at like 1 mile an hour, he
gosh.
just whoop. But I mean, the way I remember it, like
Yeah.
people are just like
Damn.
in the windshield, at the sides. You know,
Yeah.
like
fuck you.
yeah. Fuck the police.
Damn. Was it nighttime?
Of course.
So you couldn't even have your sunglasses on. You had to like. What'd you do? Just try to keep a stoic face and.
No, just like it's almost like being in an icebreaker.
Yeah.
And the ice is now 15 feet deep, and you're in the biggest icebreaker in Russia,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's not working.
Wow.
Like now you're
Yeah.
going to get frozen in the ice.
Yeah.
And we made it out.
Yeah.
We made it out. It's funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because whatever you try, you're trying to be like, hey man, just we're cool. Like,
Yeah. Dude, my whole 12-year career, I talked my way out of everything.
Yeah.
And but that's probably the only time ever that I experienced the mob rules. Like, in other words, there's no
Yeah.
arguing.
Yeah, how you gonna? Yeah, because
Yeah. Hey, I'm a comedian.
Yeah. Hey, we're good, man. You want a sandwich, my friend? You know,
Yeah.
just none of that. You want to ride?
Yeah.
Because it's just yelling and
Yeah,
loud.
it's just
and
we represent the enemy.
you must be, thank God, like you were able to have the doors locked and the windows up.
Yeah, but even that wasn't going
like-
to help.
yeah, you're
if
like-
they broke the window
Yeah.
and reached in, and you know what I mean?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys? Did you tell anyone like not back up? Or like we're in a situation?
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
Yeah. Damn.
Central, be advised, we're outside the Apollo Theater, and the local people are not happy.
This is worse than getting booed
We tried giving them sandwiches.
at the Apollo. Have you played the Apollo? Well, I was in front of it, and
No, I got booed at the Wiltern. You know that. 2,800 men booing me at the Wiltern.
man.
2,800.
What was the third memory? So, do you remember of the first month? You said the first.
I said, "Is this all we do?" And what did you
Yeah.
expect? I mean, I do have a funny story. I probably told you. Since I had a transit police patch on, I couldn't wait to get free food. That was the one thing about the job. You get free food. It's on the arm. On the
Yeah.
arm means free food.
Yeah.
Right? You're a New York City cop. You're never going to pay again on job time.
Yeah. So, did you try different restaurants?
So no, I like 3 or 4 months. You know, I had to pay. And one night I went to a diner in Brooklyn in Bay Ridge on a Saturday night. My lunch is at 1 a.m. And now I'm in a diner with 150 Tony Manero Saturday Night Fever. Hey, gay, what's you doing?
Yeah.
And you're in a police uniform. It sucks. I sit down. I have a cheeseburger deluxe, fries, a Diet Coke. It was $8.50 the bill. $8.50. I go to the front. Guy looks right, left. He says, "You're on the job. It's on me." And that was it. First time ever, free food. I go to leave. He goes, "Wait a minute. You transit?
Oh no.
$8.50.
Oh really?
Yeah, true story. Tom Snyder's favorite story. Remember Tom Snyder?
Yeah.
That was his favorite
Damn.
story.
So it really is a big deal between this and that.
You were a second-class citizen.
What would that be like in LA? Would you say like there's LAPD and then like maybe like a
the way people look at auxiliary cops?
Yeah.
You know, guys that volunteer on the weekend and they have no gun.
Yeah.
You know, they're like wannabes.
Oh, you're the security guard at the LA Zoo
Yeah.
or something like that, or you know.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And
yeah.
you discover the radios don't work.
Did you? You discover the radios don't work, and then so I'm working my way around. Oh, because I want to ask you one more question about that. So remind me if I forget. But I want to know. So for you, you probably got into it like, this is a paycheck, there's benefits, there's that. I would assume that's why you became a cop.
I became a cop. I'll tell you why. My dad kind of forced it down my throat. But I was convinced that, 20 years pension, steady paycheck, benefits. You're not going to get that with no education. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
tell the audience what your dad, he was not a cop.
My dad was a fireman. My dad was a New York City fireman. But in Long Island and New York, everyone took the police, the fire, and corrections test. And I didn't take the fire because I didn't want to be a fireman. I didn't want to run into a burning building. I didn't want to be a corrections officer. I didn't take that test. But I knew on the NYPD, 5 years in uniform and you get an inside job. That's it. 5 years in uniform, play your cards right. You're an instructor in the academy. You're a detective. You work at the auto lot where you don't even wear a uniform anymore. You know what I mean? You're in there checking VIN numbers for the whole day.
Yeah.
There's an inside job.
How long were you a cop?
12 years.
So you thought in your mind that's going to happen in 5 years.
5 years.
Did you ever get the inside job?
Well, I got in the homeless outreach unit.
Oh,
I did right after year 5.
So that was kind of the cush.
There was no police
That
work.
sounds like it sucks too.
No uniform. It does suck.
That sounds terrible,
Dude, you're dealing with homeless people. Skells. We called it the Skell Squad.
Oh my gosh.
Skell's Angels.
You had to yeah.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Dude, we had to go in the tunnels and look for them. You're in a subway tunnel in New York.
Oh, wow.
You ever been in a subway tunnel when a subway train comes by you 6 inches from your face?
Hell no.
Dude, it's humongous. It's 30 feet tall.
Wow.
And you're in a niche. You know what a niche is?
It's
an alcove in the subway.
Yeah.
And if you're on a turn and the train kicks out a little and catches your clothing,
oh my God,
you're done.
And it does the wind, the suction?
Everything, dude.
The whole
Wind,
thing.
piss.
Yeah. Oh.
Homeless people.
Damn.
Rats.
Ooh. This is not...
it gets more gross. I had to call in sick one night. I got the gout.
Yeah.
And I said to my partner, Mike, did I miss anything? And he said, yeah. He said, I was in the tunnel last night. I turned my light because you got a big light.
Yeah.
He said there was 2 homeless guys having anal sex.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I missed that.
That is a sad story. You didn't get to see it.
No condom.
He checked.
It was unsanitary.
Fellas? No. Oh my gosh, that's gross.
Yeah, dude. It's so I got into it for the pension, the benefits, this and that. And then when I got stuck in transit, I said, I'm going to quit. I took the test again, the medical, physical. You had to take everything again to go and at a chance of being NYPD. And on my 23rd birthday, I got transit for the second time.
Damn.
And I cried.
Oh.
So I had to go back that night, because I thought I was going to roll over to the NYPD.
Yeah.
I went back. I had to go back on duty. And then I was like calling other police departments, Rochester, Englewood, now I'm just going to transfer.
Yeah.
And the whole time I knew I wanted to be a comedian and I didn't have the nerve.
Damn.
So, and then I met Fran and had a son right away and then another baby. So then I was stuck.
Yeah.
And then I turned to stand-up comedy to get me out. And it worked like gangbusters.
Yeah, baby. By the way, we're going to take a little break right now. If you guys remember to do this, please go to YouTube and give this episode a thumbs up and leave some comments. And it really does help the algorithm. It helps the show. And if you want, share the link. Let people know how much you like this podcast. And we're going to get back into it now with John DiResta. Okay, so your father was a firefighter, and we just had the big wildfires here in California.
Right.
And you must, being the son of a firefighter, you must have some thoughts on the fires and what happened, the way it was managed, and
all of that is a nightmare. Yeah. It's all a nightmare. It goes to show you when one little thing goes wrong, 20 things go wrong, and that's when there's no water, there's no this, there was no. It's you could blame it on a lot of stuff, that there was no water and that the trucks weren't fixed and they took money away from them. But the biggest thing I got out of it was when that fire chief said in a TV commercial, if your husband's stuck in a fire, then he was in a bad spot. It's not my fault to carry him out.
Yeah. He shouldn't have got himself in there.
That is the absolute diametrically opposed of what New York City firemen and New York City cops. The cops I worked with were the biggest fuck-ups you could ever imagine. All they did on every shift was look to get laid, drunk, injured, right? Because you can retire with an injury. Police work was at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
But when someone's life was on the line, they were there. Like you can't imagine. Like a gang you don't want to fuck with. Like when you called it 1013, that means you're in trouble. I'm being killed. The group that showed up were fucking monsters. And God forbid that you were the guy at the other end trying to beat up a cop.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They did whatever. So to say he got in a bad place or whatever, you know, it's unheard of.
I know, it'd be crazy. I was wondering, sadly, I wish your dad was still around. He would get his opinion on, that situation.
All of it. It's so sad.
It's got to be, but things are, I think, turning around. I think they're trying to straighten up a lot of things.
Dude, it's too late. There's 13,000 families that don't have anywhere to live.
I know. They're probably
and I are past it.
Yeah. And they're probably going to leave, right? You got that much money, you're not going to wait. And if they're older, they're not going to wait.
I don't know.
7 years to get your house rebuilt. You're just like,
who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen to the land with this big rainstorm?
Gosh. Okay, so let me ask you this. And then we're going to wind down the podcast. So that was your first month,
right
as a cop. Now, cut to 13 years later. What was your last month like? What was that like?
Oh, wow. Watch this. I had a TV deal. For almost 10 months as a New York City cop. So everybody knew it was just a matter of time. I had money in my pocket. I wore nicer clothes. I had nicer eyewear. I had a nicer car I drove. You know what I mean? To work. Everyone knew, but the haters were out. Yeah. Everyone knew I had a TV deal worth a couple of $100,000. And they're all still making $40 a week as New York City cops. You know what I mean? The jealousy was through the roof.
How about that guy that you got matched up with in Times Square back then? Did you ever see him years later? Or did you?
No. A lot of guys. It's funny. I'll tell you a funny story. I did a sitcom about being a New York City transit cop, and it's a sitcom. How can you simulate the New York City subway? Yeah, especially when they watered down my comedy and they watered down, and it's written by a bunch of he/she's. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not even the one man show or my stand up act. It's now some bullshit sitcom. Yeah. So I did 17 episodes. And I knew a lot of the transit cops didn't like it. They didn't like the way it represented. And they don't know the name of the show's DiResta. They think I wrote it, I cast it. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're so short-sighted.
They don't know it's a team effort.
They don't know. They don't know I'm being fucked over. I don't even like it.
Yeah.
So a year ago, I went to the very first transit police reunion that I've gone to. They're every year in Florida and New York and in North Carolina. They're blah, blah, blah. I went to one about a year ago, and 98% of people didn't know who I was and didn't care I was there. 98%. 2 or 3 guys came over. Hey, John, you remember me? Remember when you did? We had a great, nice guys.
Yeah.
And my wife had passed away. So 2 or 3 guys came over and said, hey, sorry about your wife. How's everything out in California? And at one point, I had to take a cell phone call. And it was loud. It's 500 white guys in a banquet hall in Long Island.
Yeah.
I take the cell phone outside, and there's a guy smoking a cigarette, and you could tell that he's only out there to bang on his cigarette. He's the last guy that smokes. I say, hey, dude, what's up? He goes, you transit? I said, yeah. He goes, where'd you work? I said, District 1, District 3, District 34, in the homeless outreach unit. He goes, you look familiar, but I don't know you. And then he goes like this. Are you the guy that had the sitcom? I said, I am. He goes, so you have any idea how much we fucking ripped your ass out every Monday it was on? That was the worst thing I ever saw. You know that. And he's telling me with a straight face.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we brought that up.
I said, what's the last month?
Oh, okay. The last month, that was 20 years later.
Yeah.
The last month was pretty smooth sailing. I was in the homeless outreach unit, and because we didn't have I didn't have a steady partner at the time. I don't think I did. But whoever I worked with, we worked 9 at night to 6 in the morning. They knew that police work now is definitely way down on my list. So if you let me sleep in the front seat of the homeless outreach van or even one of the back bench seats with the sandwich box as a pillow, I'll not only buy you dinner, I'll buy you steak, hamburger. It's on me tonight.
Yeah.
So everybody wanted to work with me for that last month.
Yeah.
For real. Because that was like, DiResta, well, we can go Chinese food, whatever it was.
Right.
It was something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And then the very last night was 9 at night to 6 in the morning. And I went out on maybe one ride. And I went out with Sergeant Sandrowski. Sergeant Sandrowski, I was his driver. Or he drove, and I was in the passenger seat. And we were in a marked police car, and we only went out for like an hour, just checking on other cops. And then the last 6 hours, they let me just stay in the precinct, knowing that I didn't want to get in any trouble.
Yeah. Was it kind of, were you like, like in high school when like, oh wow, senior year, and now it's getting closer and closer. Was there part of you it's like, wow, I'm never going to see these walls again. This is like,
yes,
it's coming to an end.
Yes.
Like,
it was definitely coming to an end.
Yeah.
So much so that the very last night, for the book and for the documentary and for the movie, I was suspended a bunch of times. I was, I had gout. I had foot problems. My jacket, as they say, my file, had a lot of interesting stuff in it. Just because it's evidence of John DiResta suspended for reading a porno magazine, John DiResta suspended for sleeping on duty, John DiResta. I used to ride in the conductor's cab. Each train has a front and end.
Yeah.
So I would just sit in the very end car that's going to be the conductor's cab when it goes the other way. I would lock myself in there and tape newspaper over the windows. So for 8 hours, I would be on my post, my train, but I wasn't in the public. I was secreted in a cubicle.
Yeah.
You dig?
Taking free train rides.
Just taking free train rides because I didn't want to do any police work.
Yeah.
So I had that jacket in my hand ready to steal. I was going to steal my whole file.
Oh.
And somebody probably wouldn't have noticed it missing for a week or two.
Yeah.
But it's a felony or whatever it is. It's a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
So I didn't steal it. But I was done.
Mentally, you had checked out. You were
without
looking
a
forward
doubt.
to Hollywood.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm going to be rich and famous.
Yeah, you're like,
Little did I know I'm going to be doing podcasts with you in my kitchen.
Yeah, years later. And it's going to be bigger than TV. No.
Yeah, no, I was done. I was moved on. But I went broke in Hollywood, financially broke, and took the police exam out here twice.
Wow. So
you didn't know that.
After the TV
after
and the movie,
everything, movies,
how much
and now
time?
I'm broke.
How much time? I'm leaving New York. Goodbye, guys. Like, what, 5 years later or 10 years later?
Oh, I went, we moved to L.A. in 98, June of 98. And I went completely broke about 2 years and 10 months later.
Wow.
About 3 years later.
The
first time.
I think you were saying you were doing some crazy stuff, though, right? You guys rented a big house and kept the
I
pool heat on all the
I was
time.
living like a black guy with a hit record.
Yeah.
Barry Katz, you were living like a black guy with a hit record.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, dude, I thought it was never going to end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it really wasn't wasted on drugs or anything. It was just we got in over our head.
Yeah.
And then the money started to run out.
Yeah, but then you
didn't
booked
equal out.
You booked a lot of movies after that, so you did good, man.
Yeah, how can you think it's ever going to end?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
John, you're the best, man. Any let me ask you one last thing before we go. What is the latest thing that you've been excited about? What's something that's gotten you excited lately in the last?
I believe it or not, I always wanted to get out of my workshop and never go there again. Like, every time back in 07, 08, 09, I'm like, I just can't wait to get a gig in Hollywood and not have. I look forward to going to my workshop every day. I look forward to improving my stand-up act as much as these dinky little rooms that I'm doing. When I did a set last night and I didn't think much of it. And when I said, let me watch it, and I watched it, and there was a lot of really interesting, funny stuff that I don't even notice I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Do you remember the album Hello Mudda?
Yeah.
Hello Fada?
Yeah.
All right.
Alan Sherman, right?
Alan Sherman.
Yeah.
I am looking.
It's me at Camp Granada.
I am looking to book a studio for 12 hours and get a bunch of people in there, background singers, comedians, and I'm going to do my own version of that parody songs.
Oh, that's cool.
You got another zit coming.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, yeah. Oh, is that the same song? You got it.
I did it her way.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
You know who you could connect with? Shout out to Danny LaBelle. Daniel, he can actually sing. Daniel LaBelle.
Oh, okay.
He's a pretty funny guy too. He's funny and he can sing, and I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to putting something together like that.
That's cool.
I wanted to have your son involved.
Yeah.
Because he's a heavy metal guitarist.
Yeah. He'll do it.
Yeah.
Lost the baseball.
And I'm trying to put together a one-man show because that's what got me famous the last time, because the story is there now. You know, the story of what took place to get to Hollywood, what took place while I'm in Hollywood, my wife passing away. I have a grandson now.
Yeah. In the meantime, I think I heard somebody say something about one-man shows, and who knows what the hell. They were like, you don't need to do one-man shows anymore. Now you do it for your camera. You get it on YouTube, and then you get that, or, you know, TikTok, YouTube, all those channels. And then people are seeing you, you know, as opposed to like, you know, let's go down to some small theater.
No, here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
here's
but you
what
can do both, though.
No, here's my ultimate dream.
Yeah.
Instead of traveling to comedy clubs and videotaping myself,
Yeah.
I would like to have the John DiResta Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 8 o'clock at a theater that literally has people fly in to see it. Like, in other words, it's a legitimate business.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I only need a 100-seat theater,
Right.
and I could make $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
And guess what's for sale in the lobby when you leave?
Your
all my
products.
furniture.
Yeah. Oh, your furniture, your merch, your products.
Yeah. Or people, guess what they sit on to watch the one-man show?
Benches that
I made.
And then
so it's more of like it's more of like a bawdy comedy vaudeville than it is a theater where I'm going to talk about that my uncle molested me.
You could do this at your, like, you know, like, for example, your workshop,
right?
Perhaps,
But
you know?
it's something that's once removed from the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something like that, you know, you could do a very small thing at the work. How many people do you think could sit at your workshop and watch a show?
If I cleaned it all out and moved shit, I could probably sit 15, 20,
I was going to
30
say
people.
15, 20.
And the benches are there already.
Yeah.
Wow, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Boom. Step right up, folks. Come to the secret location. That's what they do, you know?
Yeah.
They do that or whatever. But I see what you're saying, but
No, there was a person in New York that every Sunday at 8, she cooked a meal, did her show with an audience watching, and then the audience ate the meal. You understand? Like it was like that personal.
Oh, people do that at people's houses.
Yeah,
like if you knew someone
come.
with a big house or a big thing, you could, you know. Especially
You know who does that and makes a very good living at it? Remember, did you watch Sopranos or no?
Yeah.
Vito, the gay guy? Mm-hmm. He's a chef in Long Island.
Oh, wow.
And now you hire him, and he tells stories about the Sopranos while he makes your dinner.
Wow.
And he gets a big buck.
That's cool.
And everyone thinks, oh, he's famous. He was in The Sopranos.
Yeah, and they keep showing The Sopranos, so it's still current and relevant,
Yeah.
you know.
And he has a million jokes about being the gay guy.
That's funny.
Like you. But believe it or not, I'm just excited to still be doing it, to still be like... And I'm excited about the unknown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could be cast tomorrow in a movie about mobsters.
Right.
Or, do you know what I'm pitching to Netflix?
I love it.
The first R-rated game show.
The first R-rated game
with
show.
scantily clad women where I make fun of everybody and everything.
That's going to work.
Yeah.
I see it working. All right, man. John DiResta, we're going to have you back on. Thanks for doing the podcast again.
No problem, dude.
And we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. And thanks for all your nice comments. See ya. Don't hurt nobody. Be careful.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to The Pocket Party.